the last thing I want to do is kick Christian Craig for putting in the effort he did. He busted his ass. What's up, Cooksy Mob? Hey, so my post about Enzo the other day really seems to have sparked some interest. Apparently, I'm not real popular in Brazil right now. But hey, Enzo's the hometown hero or the country hero, and he's probably the best Brazilian rider that I can remember. He's awesome. The kid is cool. The kid is good. But I'm going to explain more about that situation. And I'm coming to you live today from GTP Off-Road. My buddy Adam had to head out of town. He had a family emergency. But hey, if you need UTV stuff, check out GTP. This place is awesome. And don't forget, Coach Rob, Complete Racing Solutions, if you need a program for fitness, mental, whatever you need. Epic Garage Designs, if you want to get your garage looking really cool. Ride Strapped, if you need some Let's Go branding goggles or anything patriotic, hit up Ride Strapped. And then if you're going to ship something via truck, use Precision Transport. They haven't forgot about customer service. So, all right, guys, let's get into this because I'm definitely the bad guy in Brazil right now.
You need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers and say, that's the bad guy.
This Enzo Lopes situation is wild. Rarely does this happen when it's the rider who's actually kind of, essentially, in my opinion, hosing the team. Usually the teams are the ones hosing the riders, 99 out of 100 times. So that's why I even had people say, well, teams do it all the time. Well, guess what? That doesn't make it okay either. And I would come down hard on the teams. You guys know I'm a champion for the riders. I want more riders pay. I think these guys are absolute warriors. They put their asses on the line and they deserve everything they get. And they should take opportunities when they're presented to them. But this one's a little different. So this all started back when Enzo had a couple injury-filled seasons. He's coming off JGR, and he has nothing. So he goes to Club MX. They don't even have a team at this time, so they kind of put something together. He's their rider, and he does really well. And then they're going to sign him for the next year. Well, he walks in the office and says, I'm sorry, Phoenix Honda just offered me $60,000 to ride for their team. Doesn't offer a chance to match, just kind of walks out. So it really left a bad taste in the mouths of the guys at Club MX. Whatever, they got past it, no big deal. Hey, go do your thing. And that year with Phoenix Honda went horribly. And then Enzo's right back where he was, broken, looking to rebuild, has nothing. Club MX takes another shot on him, and they rebuild him again. They officially sign him, and then he gets to the, great season that he had in 2023, where he looks like he's on the verge of being a guy that can win races. And he has teams knocking on the door. Hey, is he available? What's going on? I thought for sure during this past Supercross season that he would actually sign with a pro circuit, a Star Yamaha, when he was available. Instead, nothing came about. Wherever, I don't know why that didn't happen or what the reasoning was, but nobody signed him at that time. Club MX said, hey, we want to build around you. We are not a B team. We're an A team. We are a team that thinks we can take you to the top. We're not looking to springboard you to somebody else. We're looking to have you as our staple guy, and we're going to sign you and pay you accordingly. And that's what he thought that they did. They allowed him to race Supercross only and then do World Supercross. They really kind of let him almost write his own ticket with this contract. There is a termination clause. This is not a termination clause that says, hey, if Star Yamaha decides they want to hire me, I can just leave, or Pro Circuit or one of these other teams. This is a termination clause that says if we don't fulfill our obligations, there's a huge penalty and we each have to pay each other a significant amount. It's that kind of termination clause. This is not just a simple out to get, to move on, which that's what happened. So Club MX, they go race World Supercross with him at the first round. Enzo dislocates his shoulder, still races. I think he got third or fourth. He did really good considering he dislocated his shoulder that day. Goes home, gets surgery. He's in Brazil. He's texting back and forth with Club MX, letting him know how the recovery's going and when he'll be back. And, hey, all's well. And then they get a letter from the Wasserman Group. And this is what I didn't know when I did my original video. I did not know that Enzo had signed with the Wasserman Group. That's a group that has agents. I believe Lucas Myrtle, I think Button's also at Wasserman. They have a lot of different guys that represent different riders. So he gets a letter from Wasserman saying, hey, you're going to have to let him out of his contract. We've signed him. We're representing him. So if you could just sign this so he's out of the contract, we're going to move on. They're like, Well, wait, what? They felt like Club MX felt a little bit bullied. Like, hey, wait a second. We're not just a bunch of country bumpkins that are going to, we have a contract with this kid. We've signed this kid. We've invested in this kid. We're not just going to cower to one little letter from your legal department. And they didn't. So instead of doing that, they actually doubled down and sent out an Instagram post and said, hey, these are our riders. Well, then it got kind of ugly. Both sides have got lawyers involved. It looks like it's going to end up with Enzo having to pay a significant buyout. Whoever pays that, Star, Wasserman, somebody's going to have to pay a buyout to Club MX. He's not going to end up at Club MX next year, but they will get some sort of compensation for him because this was not a agreeable termination. And like I said, it's something that teams do to riders all the time, but that doesn't make it okay when it's the other way around. It just doesn't. And the situation was posed to me like, hey, if Enzo was your kid, what would you advise him to do? Well, first I would have advised him in May to add in the deal that if a team, and state specifically, Star, Pro Circuit, or wherever he wanted to go, if they come with an offer by a certain date, I can get out of this contract. That's what I would have added to the contract that they had that they signed with Club MX. He didn't. He did not do that. Therefore, they invested a ton of money. They invested their resources, went to their sponsors, and promoted and did all the things that you do to get ready for the 2024 season, thinking they have Enzo Lopes under contract. Well, that's where it went sideways. And if Enzo was my kid, I'd be like, well, do you honestly think you can win on the Star Yamaha? If the answer is yes, let's take the hit and figure this out. But what he's done is he's put a tremendous amount of pressure on himself. If he wins, this will be all forgotten. If he does worse than he did on Club MX, oh boy, he's going to get hammered by the public, the media, everyone. Everyone's going to be like, oh yeah, oh, way to go, good move going to Star. Was he really worth the buyout? Like, that stuff's coming. But if he honestly believes it, he's at an age, I think he's like 23, 24. He's at the age where it's time to take a shot. And if he thinks that's what it will take to put him over the top and get him on the podium, get him a Supercross championship and take him to that next level, if it were my son, I would say, you didn't handle it very good, but yes, do it. And that's where I would be at. And I understand that he should go to Star Yamaha. I also understand that Club MX kind of got hosed. I see both sides of it, guys. So it's not like I'm just trying to bash Enzo. And Brazilian fans, I love you guys. I love your support for Enzo. I love your blind support for Enzo. But he didn't handle this properly. He could have done a lot better job, and he'll learn from that. Like I said, these guys are young. He's not as young as some of the guys, but he's still in his early 20s, and these kids aren't raised in a way that they learn a lot of life lessons. But this is a life lesson that he will learn, and he'll be better for it. So good on Enzo. I hope he crushes it on Star. And I hope this is just a little blip on the radar. So now I want to talk about Christian Craig. Christian Craig raised his hand when no one else would go to the Motocross Donations. Or I'm sorry, Motocross Donations. Some of you guys get pissed when I call it Donations. I just like calling it Donations. So the Motocross Donations. He went there. He gave his all. He hasn't been on the bike all year. He hasn't tested outdoors. What did you guys expect? I hear a lot of people saying, I wish he hadn't raised his hand. Well, would you rather no team go? That's up to you guys. But the last thing I want to do is kick Christian Craig for putting in the effort he did. He busted his ass. So please don't tell me he needs to retire. This guy's got another year in his contract. These riders earn these contracts. He deserves his opportunity. He has not had a fair shake on a 450 yet. Hopefully, this will get him his fair shake. And as long as he wants to race, keep racing. Chad Reed, all these guys, stop telling anyone to retire. Nobody needs to retire. We don't need to remember them. You have a short window as an athlete to make money and and have fun racing. I would race as long as you have the desire. Now, if I see a guy going out there who's doing it because they don't have any other life options and they're just trying to collect a paycheck, yeah, it's time to get out. But if you genuinely want to be out there, you're putting in the effort, even if the results aren't there, if you want to be there and you have the desire, ride and race until they kick you off that track. All right, guys, so that's it for today's video. I got Juan back here at GTP. Stop by, check out the website, gtpoffroad.com. And if you need anything for your UTV, they're badass. And I believe they'll ship anywhere. So thanks, guys. Subscribe, and I'll catch you later.